Hi there! If you got the Emperor for your theme card for the year, this reading's going to be for you. If you haven't had a chance yet to figure out what your theme card is for the year, I'll leave the equation in the notes below as well as a link to the first video. Let's get into it. The Emperor is all about structure, stability, discipline, and order. At his best, he's an excellent leader and authority, and he gets stuff done. At his worst, he can be disorganized, overbearing, or even combative and problematic. The center of this reading is asking you to let go of your resistance. So it's being able to let go of your resistance toward embracing this structure, this discipline, this order, this new way of being. Maybe it's asking you to, maybe you have like daddy issues or negative experiences with men or male figures or authority figures in your past. And so therefore it's colored your vision of like what that is in a really negative sense. And there's a lot of negative ideas and aspects about what masculinity is right now in our culture. And so this is being able to let go of that idea that all masculinity is toxic and start to understand and realize that we as people, whether we be male or female or whatever, have these masculine, feminine traits that we need to embrace and express at different points of our life in a healthy manner. So it's being able to understand what that healthy expression of masculinity is for you, and letting go of that negative way or those negative aspects and associations and letting that fall by the wayside into the past. So in the mental realm, we have the King of Wands. So this is another like substantiated by this Emperor character. So the King of Wands is all about speaking up, strategizing, making a plan. It's about what you're thinking about and like going for and seeking out something that you want to know about or you want to learn about or you're inspired by. So it's seeking out that inspiration. This is about creating boundaries and being able to speak out for yourself or speak up for yourself or advocate for others if necessary. This is about taking responsibility for your words and what you say. And it's also about taking responsibility and control over your thoughts and how you're thinking. So it's that concept of thinking your reality into being. So it's part of that manifesting what we want to happen, how we're steering our thoughts in progress toward our goals or the life that we're wanting to create for ourselves or who we're wanting to be. So the 10 of Wands in the emotional realm is all about discharging unhelpful, overwhelming emotions and being able to be discerning about what type of burdens you are taking on. So the Emperor is really good at being able to compartmentalize things and being able to embrace that concept of non-attachment. It doesn't mean we're detaching ourselves entirely, but it means that we're creating a healthy sense of realistic, say we're listening to a friend or somebody go on about something that's a problem in their life and they just need you to listen and be there. They're not asking you to solve the problem, right? So you don't need to take on the burden of needing to solve the problem if it's not appropriate or necessary, okay? Maybe you need to, the goal will be to like steer that person towards some ideas and ways that they can solve the problem themselves. So it's kind of like a coaching, right? So it's like how we coach people is asking them, what do you think about that? What do you want to do about that? What are some ideas? What are some strategies you have for this? Or, you know, how might you want to go about doing this, right? Instead of saying, oh, you need to do this like this, or doing it for them even, which is definitely not helpful. This is going to be about being able to show feelings for a moment in order to accomplish something greater than that. Doesn't mean that we're just gonna like stuff those away for later forever, but it's like saying, okay, this is my priority right now, so I'm just gonna kind of like suck it up and take care of things and get these things done so that my house is in order, so to speak, and then I can come back and address these emotions or these things that feel overwhelming. In the action realm, we have a slow down card or a are you being stubborn or too slow card. So the Queen of Pentacles inverted is asking you, like, are you being super stubborn about your actions that you're taking? Are you being selfish? Or are you doing this for a greater commonality or like a bigger scheme? Are you seeking out this like external validation, or are you seeking out like an instant gratification, or are you planning more long term? This is a reminder to take a moment and also slow down before you act and ask yourself, who is this affecting? Who is this for? And you can have that, oh, is this for my immediate gratification self, or is this for my future self? Or am I doing this strictly for myself, or am I doing this for others? And look at, with the scope of how you want to live your life, who you want to be, what you're crafting, what makes sense. And usually it's going for that more long term and like, is this going to serve my future self type of questions, right? So we have a 7 of Wands in the practical realm. So this is kind of asking you to like organize and strategize a little more in your practical life, whether it be what you're doing with your physical body, how you're taking care of yourself, your home, how you're keeping your home in order. Maybe you have family that you live with, or roommates or somebody, and making sure that there's a little more like structure and organization and order, and this kind of collaboration as well. This is about being able to see a bigger picture and strategize before just taking action. Okay, it doesn't mean to be super slow and timid about it, right? Because the Queen of Wands was telling us to not be too timid, but to organize and strategize and have kind of a game plan for how things are going to be taken care of. The Emperor is also really good at delegating. So if you find that you're overwhelmed with tasks yourself, maybe you need to delegate. Maybe it's hiring someone to help you do the housekeeping. I don't know. But it's definitely making sure that you're strategizing and delegating, or making sure that you're prioritizing things that need to happen versus things that are distracting or can be put off for a little bit longer and don't need to happen like right now, right away. This is also a great time to ask yourself, am I seeing conflict as problematic, or am I able to see conflict as a healthy sense of a challenge, right? So there's that place where there's like arguing and conflict that's problematic, and then there's like a healthy debate where there's kind of like a conversation happening in that, or a challenge being had. So being able to ask yourself, like, is this conflict problematic, or is this conflict something that's going to help me learn and grow and rise to this challenge? So to wrap it up, I really love this energy for you. Your year of the Emperor is going to be all about organizing, strategizing, and creating a structure with some discipline for yourself. Remember to assess where your negative associations with masculinity come from and what the positive aspects are, and be able to let that negative association and stuff go and embrace those positive, helpful aspects. Don't be afraid to speak your mind and to speak up. Remember to compartmentalize and kind of create that sense of non-attachment from overwhelming or unnecessary emotions at the time, and then address them later when you're able to think more clearly and come back to them. Don't be too timid or slow. And remember to assess, are your actions self-serving or selfish, or are they going to help you more long-term? Okay? And take action, but organize and strategize first. Thanks for watching so much. I'll see you next time.